Here's a song we wrote about a desperado from Oconee County, up in the northwest corner of South Carolina, where the Blue Ridge Mountains begin to drop back down to earth. But to tell the story, we have to back up a year before, because the sheriff, that's Mr. Earl Holcomb, and the county supervisor, that's Mr. Norman Crane, were fussing and feuding over who should be in charge of the county jail, otherwise known as the Oconee County Detention Center. I never could figure out why either one of them wanted it, but politicians being what they are, well, let's move on. Well, they couldn't settle it among themselves, so they decided to leave it to the discretion of the voters and have a referendum. To make a long story short, the supervisor won the squeaker and became the proud landlord at the county jail. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the State Department of Corrections transferred Doyle Cannon from the state pen to, you guessed it, Oconee County Detention Center. There, he becomes a trustee and drives around in a dump truck. By the way, did I mention he was serving 37 years for voluntary manslaughter and solicitation of murder? Now, some say he's guilty, some say he's innocent. I ain't got no idea. I'm just here to tell a story. So he served 10 years good behavior, and then one day he just got in his dump truck and drove away. Parked that sucker out in the country, hit the woods, took off like a streaky Hank, and they ain't caught him yet. They've chased Doyle Cannon all over Highland, South Carolina, with hundreds of men and dogs and heat-seeking helicopters. Lately, that boy's been sighted in more places than Elvis Presley.
30-something years ago, this took place, one of the greatest prison breaks in all of Oconee County, South Carolina. And there's been nothing like it since. God rest you, Doyle Arthur Cannon. He just passed away a couple of years ago. But it was a moment of pure history in Oconee County. Welcome in to Thursday or Sunday night. Yeah, boy, that song just gets me right here. The Chain Gang. Here it comes. Of Oconee. There you go.
I never heard of that. I gotta read that thing. I never heard of it.
Yeah, they put Doyle Cannon in a dump truck and he drove away. That's when we were fighting over who was in charge of the Oconee County Detention Center. Norman Crane says it belonged to him, and then Sheriff Earl Holcomb said it belonged to him. So then they put it to the voters, and the voter says, well, the jail is going to belong to the supervisor. Now, that's Oconee County at its finest right there.
I think we're headed back to them good old days.
Before we start our show, it has been an interesting week past our Thursday show that we did. I don't know about you guys and gals, but we have received a lot of emails. And
it's been incredible.
It is unbelievable. And this is for any of you county employees that are listening tonight. If you feel by saying something would hurt you and you want to say something and your voice and your name be stricken from the record, you're feel free to email me. And I promise you that your name will be held in the strict confidence. If you have a voice or a concern or something that you want to say, but you're afraid to say it, email me at jazzyjeff@letstalkoconeesc.com. I received about, so far, and we've received about 10 different emails since Thursday from county employees. And folks, let me tell you something. They are very concerned. A lot of people are concerned. A lot of different departments throughout Oconee County is concerned. We know that there is some things that are happening, that someone made a statement on social media of how they felt. And now there's some issues of now they may be in trouble for some reason for speaking out of how they feel. So again, if you feel you want to talk and you want to share your concerns, you can email us at jazzyjeff@letstalkoconeesc.com. And again, it started off Thursday night after we got done with the show. There was a lot of people, not only county employees, but citizens as well. There are a lot of people in this county right now that are very upset.
This is an example where you have a county council that now is totally gone around a county manager, is now getting into the ranks of dealing with employees, acting like the employees are working for them. This is That is very poor governance. Not to mention that these budget cuts that they're talking about, these guys are doing it purely politically. They have not done anything as it relates to any proper analysis. The easiest thing to do is to cut salaries from county employees. There's no work there. You just do it for a small special interest who's clapping, and it's just hurting the family.
Well, I wanted to say, because, and I know to just tack on to what you were saying about the email, and I had every intention of going to the council meeting, but everybody in my house was sick and I literally had no voice. I did write a letter. They did not read my letter. I worked for the county, and I fully understand you cannot, I understand the employees cannot speak out. They cannot go to that council meeting. The councilman said, hey, nobody's coming, nobody's speaking out. They know, and maybe they don't know, but it's a right to work state. People should know full and doggone well that these people cannot stand up and just say, I hate this, this is wrong, I disagree, because they're going to be retaliated against.
Well, here's the thing, Kathy.
They can't say it. They can't say it. And if you've been working there 10, 15 years, you've got all your retirement, you've got all your eggs in one basket, and they cannot just come out there and say anything. They can't. That's the reality of it. That is the reality of working here in South Carolina.
A bunch of bullies is what it is.
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on. Friday, after we had that show on Thursday, I was over there getting the nuts cut off of my 16th cat. And I tell you what, there's a lot of county employees that are just can't believe some of the things that get said at these council meetings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was like, man, I can't believe I've been in here 16 times, and now they're going to put a cap at getting my cat nuts cut off at 10.
Wait a minute, what does that have to do with what?
But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of folks in a lot of different departments.
I agree with you. I was listening, but when you were talking about
when that lady is up there
the bad word,
the bad word nuts is like hickory nuts and acorns and walnuts and chin nuts and chicky pins and all kinds of stuff. But anyways,
so that's what I mean.
As soon as but yeah, I went to all these different places that the county funds, and I've been talking to a lot of people, and man, they are all upset, Jeff.
There's a lot of people upset, but these people that are upset, they don't have a voice.
They don't.
Now,
oh, they do have.
They do now. They do now,
and it's right here.
It's right here. It's us. They know now that they have a voice. Let me just read you one of the emails that we received. Just wanted to say we really appreciate your Facebook post and programs criticizing the ridiculous council meeting earlier this week. Most of us are too scared of retaliation to like, comment, and share publicly, but trust me, those posts are being seen and are much appreciated, and thank you for standing up for county employees.
Let me say one thing, Jeff. So when you look at this and you've got these county employees, what's happening is these county employees know that they have families to take care of. Mm-hmm. This county council is making them feel powerless, and that causes a lot of problems, a lot of stress. And what this majority in the county council is doing is they've got some political power. They're a very small group of supporters, and they're just bullying these people in the county. It's just, it's wrong. It's beyond wrong. That's not the way you run things.
Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. How do you circumvent or overcome what's going on? By showing up to these council meetings.
Right.
The people.
Man, I wouldn't show up. I would just call in sick on Tuesday.
No. I'm talking about citizens of Oconee County. I'm talking about citizens of Oconee County
that are
packing that council chamber out. That's how you show
it needs to be the families of the employees. It
exactly.
needs to be the brothers, the neighbors, the sisters, the aunts, the uncles. It needs to be the families is what it needs to be.
I think these employees,
best friends.
These employees all got sick days. They need to get on Indeed.com tonight and start applying for jobs.
Well, it looks like some are.
Go to SC Workforce. I mean, we posted all them jobs. I said there's all kind of places to work. Call in sick Tuesday. Go to one of them interviews and take another job making more than what these dipshits in the county council is trying to pay you.
But
on.
Rainey, that's a little bit harder to do. If
It
you've got
is.
15 or 20
It's
years
not
invested,
coordinated, yeah.
well, if you've got 15 or 20 years invested in state retirement and you're close, you don't want to lose all of that, because state retirement is a good retirement program. You get full benefits, but still, if you're at the 20-year mark, you don't want to have to pack up and go find another job.
Oh, there's state jobs. Clemson's hiring like crazy.
Have you seen the requirements for the Clemson jobs?
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too.
There's jobs to be had. And the people that run our county are more than qualified to do great things.
I'm not saying they're not, but it's a lot harder to walk in from one agency to another agency in South Carolina.
Let me say one thing. I understand what you're saying, but if they're going to do that, they need to be very sensitive and careful how they do it.
Right.
They need to, if they're going to leave, they get a job, do the transfer, and they're done. Then they can do what they want.
All I said
Do it,
was
but no, let me
I
know. Well, okay. So let me finish. But doing it the other way, when you've got kids in school, I know towards the end of my career, I've been in a position where I had the thumb screws put to me because I reported GE for malfeasance, and I don't care. I never signed a non-disclosure, and that's true. I stood up, but boy, they made my life difficult. But the thing about it here, and these people coming to the county council, you need to think about this. These people, these loudmouths that are in the crowd, who we know who they are, that can be intimidating. But if you show up and they got the local sheriff there and you got somebody that actually tries to intimidate you, you go up and you raise hell. And we'll be there too, because you put these people in jail. They start making any type of threats that can turn into what's called a terroristic threat, and you put them in. That's true.
I agree with you, Chris. I totally agree what you're saying, but you don't have the agency that will do anything. That's your other problem. Yeah. You have a law enforcement agency that's not going to do anything.
And that's very sad.
And you know that, and I know that. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. We left off, we had already got an hour and 34 minutes into the county council meeting from last Tuesday.
I thought you were going to ask me about my new collection.
No, I'm going to hold your collection. I want to get
this collection. The other one's after.
What, your carp on your head?
No. This is from my Progressive Elitist Lake collection.
Oh my God.
And what do you think? This is one of my new designs from Ruin Designs LLC.
It would be acceptable if you could make it talk.
No. They don't like it.
Is it a carp, I might add?
No, it's not.
It's not a bass, I'll tell you that.
No.
It's designed out of a carp.
It's a salmon. They're swimming upstream up to Jocassee.
We don't we don't have salmon here.
No, that's what the game warden told me.
We have piranhas in Lake Kiwi, though.
So anyways, there you go.
I bet you didn't know
I
that,
told
did
you
you?
I would unveil this. I just had to change the name. This is what you need.
Okay. All right. Are you ready for business at hand now?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. Let's return back to our discussion of last Tuesday night's county council meeting, and brace yourself. There's more good stuff coming like right now.
Person to bring up something personal. But your group out there supports you. So that's what matters.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, just to clarify, to call the vote, definitely vote, but to end debate prematurely, that's call the vote, or to call the question, that requires a supermajority. So once the debate's done, then certainly.
Super majority. Did anybody get that?
That would be 4 people, right?
Super majority would be all.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, I just want to read this. State Code 19-704.5 says the transfer is defined as a movement to a different agency of an employee from one position to another position having the same state salary range, or a movement of a position from one agency to another agency, which does not require reclassification.
Wait a minute. County government is not state government.
Right.
But they're different agencies.
No.
Under the state retirement program.
No.
Right?
Nope. They, even though they have state retirement, they're not considered a state agency.
And the other thing too, Randy, you have to consider is that this is a small area. So there's going to be people with an axe to grind, and the flags are going to go up. So they're going to be like,
absolutely.
Hey, so-and-so, guess who just put in an application down here?
Yep.
They got to be very, very careful
They
because
have
these
to be
guys will
very
go.
careful.
They'll be underhanded. Absolutely.
Yeah, just
Well,
remember, county government isn't state government.
The problem is you guys are still scared of these pricks. I'm not, and they shouldn't be either.
Well,
but if you've
you
got a
don't have
family to take care
you
of,
don't have a
you need to
mortgage,
be
you don't
scared of
have
them.
a kid that has
Because
that has a mouthful of braces and you know, a car payment and all that kind of stuff riding on somewhere that you've been 15, 17,
Kathy's right.
years.
Do you realize though that over half of our people, probably 60% of the workforce of the county government is only living paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're surviving.
But here's the thing: if you look at most of the pay, it's in the low 30s.
So they need that
So
low 30s in
if
order
they-
to continue to
if they
survive.
would-
If not, they're going to be homeless.
If they
And
would
that's the
but if they
whole
would move to a
sickening
job
thing
that's
about
paying
this.
in the
That's the
50s,
whole
they'd
sickening
be
thing.
better off.
Randy, I wish you could understand. I've lived here my whole life and I know what I'm talking about. It is much harder than you think to pack up and get another job from working from the county to another. It's not is that
I've
easy.
got to tell you, the statistics are there. There's 3.2% unemployment. There's 2,000 jobs available that are over $55,000 a year in Oconee County. If people don't want them and they want to stay there and they want to be miserable, that's on them.
No, I'm sorry, I disagree.
Can I say one
Yeah.
thing? Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but here's where the difference is. You're retired and you have your own business. I'm retired and I have a good income. But like I said, these things like when this crap was happening, when I was hitting the 27 year mark, it's tough.
Look,
I had let me finish. Let me finish. I had 2 people in college. I had to be very careful how I approached it. I stood up, but I did what I had to do, and I had a soft landing. You get one of these guys that is harder to do, they have to stand up. I agree with you, but this is a whole new world.
How many employees are have been in Oconee County for 28 years? There's the turnover rate in this county is so high. Take a look at the fire department. Take a look at roads and bridges. Take a look at the trash dump. Take a look at all those places. They flying through people.
I'm not saying they don't leave. I'm just saying
there's maybe only 25 or 30.
I agree. I'm not saying don't leave. I'm not saying don't leave.
Stuck and can't do anything.
No. I'm saying do not try to make a stance to make a stance. Be smart. Discreetly use the tools, get a different job if you want, and then move.
If you're the director of IT and you're making whatever Matt Durham said, $107,000, whatever that is, you'd probably stay. But if you're working at roads and bridges and you're doing a shovel for $15 an hour, get the hell out of there.
Well, yeah, but they never had to. So it's a different Randy. These guys, you got to remember something. What you would do is not what they're doing or would do.
I agree with this comment right here. Keep their pay low so they can't afford to leave is their employee retention program. Absolutely.
Right. And all you got to do is break that cycle.
How do you break that cycle when people are depending on a check week to week and they're barely surviving in this country?
You can't tell me that the guy that's making $24,000 a year at the trash dump is not going to be better off working at McDonald's for $13 an hour.
No. Because he's got health insurance, he's got life insurance, he's got the benefits. That's a hell of a lot better, and he gets paid time off, and you don't get that from McDonald's.
Okay, so you know what? We're all saying the same thing. I understand. All I'm saying is, and then we can do the video. But all I'm saying,
people will stop.
I don't disagree.
Stop working for the county government will change.
But if you're going to do it, and I'm not saying they shouldn't.
Be quiet and go do it.
Exactly. Be very careful. And the reason being is you see what this council's like. I wouldn't trust one of these people. I wouldn't even trust my boss, considering that they're scared.
No.
Just if you're going to leave, be careful how you do it. And
tell no one.
Tell no one.
Absolutely. Be very careful. Trust no one. Be careful.
Well, I mean, we already have people leaving. We just had 3 resignations from the public works. 3 CDL drivers, they left last week,
and they
now
had the courage.
But you can't hire nobody now because guess what? We're in a freeze.
Exactly.
So we've actually made it tough on ourselves. We're putting more workload on Oconee County government employees.
We did not make it.
They did.
We did not make it tough on ourselves. Three people.
Three did.
have
Three
made
people.
It tough on
You know,
the
what
county.
what I just don't understand is how hard it would have been to just give them the 5% raise like the state's getting. And then if you want to do your study, do your study. I
They
mean,
did
why
it.
is that hard?
It's
Why is
not.
that hard?
It's not. There are a lot of choices to be made in this budgeting. Kathy, it's not hard. They did it. They did it because they had power, and they did it to make a point that we're going to do whatever the hell we want to do.
It's
Not one of these
retaliation.
guys knows how to run a
retaliation.
government.
It's
Not one of them.
retaliation. It's retaliation.
Exactly. Bingo.
It's retaliation
Oh,
for
yeah.
his legal
Absolutely.
problems.
It
That's
is.
what
It's
it is.
total
You
retaliation.
got Hard up there. You got Durham up there, and then Don. And I'm very disappointed. And they sit there and go along with this crap. This is total 100% bullshit. This is not how you do things.
I want to get to.
Sorry.
I want to get to the video, and we're coming up. Just remember that there's a comment that Don made.
I know.
And we're going to discuss that comment in a few minutes.
Well, you know, Randy, he gets us wild.
Motion to call the question.
I'd still leave.
4 or 5.
Do you have any other comments? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, next we have third reading.
That was just on the amendment.
Oh, that was amendment. So that's the vote on the amendment. Next we need to vote on the actual ordinance.
I'd make a motion that all council members need to have a copy of what the amendment is, so they actually know what they're voting on, even if they're voting in favor or not in favor. That's a motion.
Second.
Motion for a recess?
No, it's just a motion so we know. I mean, I think it would be helpful for council members, if they're going to vote on it, to have whatever it is that it is.
I can read it for you again if you want to take notes.
It'd be nice if the public know about it too.
There's the key right there.
Yep.
That's the key. John Elliott made the very key point in this section of the video. It would be nice if the public knew.
Why didn't
Because
they
the public already knew what the first reading and the second reading and the public hearing was going to be.
That was an ambush. Yeah.
That was a great playbook taken out of a textbook, if I've ever seen one.
Out of a movie.
Kathy, what were you saying?
I don't understand what that it should have been. It should be published and the public have time to review it before they even vote on it. Don't you think?
I
Don't
agree.
you think?
I agree. Kevin Larkin brings up a very good point, Randy, and I'm going to direct this is to you, and this is true. And what he says, I think, will clear everything up. We're not all saying the same thing in our early conversation, and it involves our path of life. Randy, your path in life is not the same as most people working in Oconee County. And Kevin, that's a good way. I think he surmised everything what we're trying to say.
You've got to put yourself in their shoes.
You got to put yourself in their shoes. I can do that because I was born and raised here. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to point this, I'm born and raised here thing, but it's true. I've lived here. So I know the people that have worked there, because years ago, you started to work at the county government, you stayed there till you retired. But years ago, they were appreciated, they were respected a hell of a lot more than they're being respected today. So yeah, the dynamics changed. Kathy, you're the second person that spent the most time here. You've came in your early teens, correct? You moved here in the early teens?
I moved here when I was 9.
Okay, 9 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. You've been here how long, Chris?
17
Okay.
years.
And you, Rainey?
I've been here 6 years, but here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Oconee County is no different than any other county in Appalachia. Matter of fact, there's a lot worse counties in Appalachia between here and Ohio.
You're right. You're exactly right.
I'll tell you what, if you're 25 to 35 years old and you've got less than 10 years in this county working, leave. You can make it all back and more doing something else. And if you don't believe in yourself to do that, then you're going to be stuck where you're at. If you've got 28 years with the county and you can retire next year, that would be stupid to retire. But there is a certain group of employees in this county that needs to listen, and they need to go find something else to do.
Carefully.
Very carefully. That's all we're saying.
Quietly.
They can
Quietly.
be quiet. They can be loud. I'll be
No.
loud for them.
No.
Well, now that's true.
They can be quiet. They can be loud. It don't matter. they're going to go get another job. There is companies hiring all over the place that don't give a shit about what Matt Durham or Perry Smith or David Nix or any of them got to say.
But one person actually cares. One person actually cares of what they're doing.
Who's that?
Think about it. I'll tell you off the air.
Okay. But here's the thing, man.
I think we're gonna get we're gonna get ourselves in hot water doing this, guys.
You got a motion and a second on the floor.
Do we get a second?
John seconded that motion.
I'll second. I got some comments here. I don't see what the problem is with putting this budget in place for the upcoming year right now. We're operating perfectly fine right now under that budget. We move into the next fiscal year, okay? We will have the opportunity. We'll move right in July 1st. County government's not going to shut down. People are going to get paid. They're going to get a 3% increase. We're still going to have the opportunity to look at the actuals when they come in and budget to the actuals and make amendments to that effect. Regardless of whether you've got to read it or not.
Do we have enough for the fire contracts?
Yes. I included the fire contracts in that budget.
Mr. Elliott, you remember one time Mr. Hart said, we're gonna have a budget amendment, we're gonna have another budget amendment, and we're gonna have another budget
We're not being
amendment?
transparent. This is not.
That's not
It's
transparent.
going to be more transparent. And you bring it up, these folks are going to show up to see
How
what.
can the people that's voting on it don't know what they're voting on?
Bingo! Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. How does the people know?
They don't know unless they've been hanging out together.
Yep.
Maybe in their splinter group, their little political club that they got.
You know, it has nothing to do with politics when I say this next thing, but are those three? I don't trust them. Not at all. As a county citizens, I don't trust them. There's too many politics going on, and it's just they got their own little game going on. And if somebody would have gone through the depth they need before they make decisions that impact families, that's one thing. You can run a business and you can be tough and make hard decisions when you have to. But in situations like this, there are so many different other things, programs and different things that you can cut to keep the people going the way it should. These are decisions that are revenge decisions, in my opinion.
Rainey?
Well, I was just looking here at Indeed.com.
Rainey's going to take people job shopping.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
they should
going to
be.
give him a big old lead and take these people out and get jobs.
Within 100 miles of Seneca, there's 82 firefighter positions open, making more than $50,000 a year.
Wow.
There you go.
And we're starting what, at 31,000?
Yep.
I would leave.
To run into burning buildings, y'all.
I would leave. I'd keep it quiet, take my job, and give them the finger on the way out of town.
So if you work at Roads and Bridges and you got a CDL, there's 4,430 jobs within 100 miles of Seneca that is making you more than $60,000 a year. And the starting firefighter pay is not $31,000. It's $29,361
in Oconee County.
In Oconee County. So if you're
making a burning building,
if you're making less than $65,000 a year, and you're a truck driver, and you're a school bus driver, and all that stuff that's not retired, and this is your second job or whatever, I would look somewhere else. We've got firefighters that drive into our county. We might as well have them drive out of our county. We've got people that work all over the county that live somewhere else and come here to work. And I don't know why, because they can make more money somewhere else.
I guess the whole thing for me, just sitting here and listening and doing this show, is I just want what's fair, I think, for people.
Mm-hmm.
The county government workers, they work very hard, and they're the first line of people see in Oconee County. They deserve a good living wage. They deserve that and more. Everybody deserves to live in a county that is peaceful is good government, good policies, make sound decisions. But when you can't even when you even have to revert back to a budget of 60 million and then you try to shave off 5 million, there's so much of that is just absolutely, if you broke it down step by step, there's things that were on the budget last year that not going to be on the budget this year. All the capital projects, it's mind blowing. It is completely mind blowing. Not to mention David Root, the county attorney, in earlier video we played Thursday night, talked about is this legal, what they were doing?
Right.
And you folks can research it for yourself. Mm-hmm. I did. I wanted an answer. Has somebody ever challenged this? And I did find the answer. And you actually said the county last week, Randy. Mm-hmm. Dillon County. Mm-hmm. Dillon County had the same. Dillon County had the same issue as what was happening here. The other component was the county council was not paying part of the taxes that the school district was supposed to be getting. The county was collecting them, but wasn't going to give it. And they changed that at the last second in the 3 budget readings. Most of everybody in the state of South Carolina has the same requirements when they pass a budget, because that is a state law. 1 reading, 2 reading, a 3rd reading, and then you have your public hearings. I cannot find except one, Dillon County, where something like what happened in Oconee County, we're the only county that I have found that's ever happened to, that it's got to the very final vote.
And it changed.
It changed more than 2%. That's the other difference.
I'm not a lawyer, but it sounds illegal as hell to me.
It changed substantially from what the public was told. Yeah. Substantially. That's the change right there that I think is making this thing red lights and buzzers and everything going off.
Did you hear what they said? What Durham said? Well, we're having it right now. We're having the public right now. Yeah, with everybody in there is stacked.
Well, it's not. You didn't advertise this.
But here's the thing. Let them wreck the county. But if you're one of the revenue collectors up there at Pine Street, just know that there's 11 jobs for revenue cycle specialists within 100 miles of $50,000.
Now, Don makes the statement that we're all doing fine. Mm-hmm. Okay. He says that everything's going fine. Listen to this next statement from Amanda Brock.
You're going to get a copy. You requested one.
Yeah.
Good. Just one last point, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
As far as actuals, I just want to make sure council's clear on the actuals. The county auditor will be charged once this budget's passed, say $60 million, to ascertain the value of the mill and meet that $60 million. She won't be, and she'll be out of line to propose something that's $65 million or $66 million. So she's going to try her best to target right at whatever y'all pass. You may know that, but that actual shouldn't be $5 million difference or something like that unless her calculations are way off.
Did anybody catch that?
Yeah, he's telling them that they can't set a budget and then go adjusting it later, which is what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that they can pass this budget now, and then they can go in later and, if we need to give raises later and do something different, then we can do that, which he's telling them they can't.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, can we please amend the budget? Poor Tandy Tim is hungry, and I couldn't leave the county, and he's starving.
Well,
please.
What if we have a problem that they start construction on Sewer South, and what if something starts that they realize that where they were going to place the pump station, they're not going to be able to place it at a certain location? And what if I were to tell you that they may have to buy more property and move the pump station?
Really?
Well, that's a potential that could be happening that we're not going to hear about.
Well, if all of my investor friends can come together really quickly, let's buy that property ahead of them and make them pay out the nose for it.
I'm trying to be very serious here because it really is serious. But just for the folks watching the show, get ready. You ain't seen nothing yet. You talk about change order after change order, it's coming.
Oh, they don't like those.
Oh, I know they don't like those change orders.
I told you so.
And you know what kills me is that the places that they've worked, they should know all about change orders. They're really not that strange thing.
But remember, with Sewer South, we have a contingency fund. We don't have change orders.
Oh, no.
Okay?
Hey,
Isn't a contingency fund and a change order basically the same thing?
But wait a minute, isn't it just common sense?
Oh, no, there is no common sense.
hey, real quick.
Yes.
Hiring immediately Woodruff Chevrolet on Woodruff Road, $95,000 to $100,000 a year, an automotive service technician.
Well, just to
If you
put
were
it
to
out
do
there,
Then we ought to be putting that up on our page.
One out of
Those-
one of the 1.5 employees left in the motor pool should probably check out Woodruff Road.
Bethany, I want to comment on what you're saying right now. What is going to happen when there are no firefighters to run all the emergency calls in this county if everyone quits like you're suggesting? Hey, it may already be happening. Right, but you're going back to the volunteer.
Well, that's what what
people will die.
Glenhart said last year at a council meeting. Volunteers need to step up and do their part. Well, I tell you what, the fire academy is going to have firefighter 3 over there and figure out how to do it with canes and wheelchairs. Because all the youngins are leaving. There's no.
They're tired. They're not being supported like the previous volunteers were years ago.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is they're going to school. They got jobs and lives too. They're not sticking around in the community.
No, but let me say one thing. You know what these guys are doing? They're betting this implosion will not happen until a little bit later when they're already going into different jobs, like if Durham's running or these other guys. That's why they're doing this. They're doing it purely to feather their own political nest. That is what it is.
Okay, let's continue
But
now.
here's the thing. The county doesn't need employees. They could go to 100% contracting. They could contract everything out. And what there won't be any state retirement pensions to pay into, there'll be no health insurance, none of that stuff. They could just sit up there like fat cats and write checks and not worry about anything else. So
let me just say something. Contract services like that in the long term cost more than paying the people. And I'll tell you
they cost more in the short term than they do in the long term.
They cost long and short. And Clemson University used to do that. And now they don't do contracts anymore because it was costing them way more and they were getting way less of work out of the people.
You're not listening. This county council wants to be 30 years behind. So
well, if you're looking for that aspect,
30 years ago, contracting was the answer. And in that 30-year-old MBA book that Matt Durham's been studying, it's going to tell him that he should contract.
Well, 30 years ago, we had one person that ruled the county.
Contractor, weren't you?
Wait a minute. 30 years ago, Randy, we had one person. 30 years ago, we had one person that run the county with iron fist. We didn't have this problem. It was Norman Crane. It was his way or the highway.
And Doyle Cannon took it.
That's exactly right. But no, seriously.
Well, and you got to look at where they're coming from too. Two of these guys are Duke people, and they run a lot of contractors out there. So you may very well be onto something, Randy.
Urgently hiring package delivery driver associate from RS Solutions out of Asheville, North Carolina. $5,000 a week, full time, Monday to Friday. That's $10,000 a month. You can start your own 401k and don't worry about that county pay down retirement plan.
Are you gonna take a break?
And just a minute, Mr. Chair, your actuals will come after the auditor's presentation.
We should be pretty close to at least 11 months actuals pretty soon.
So we have a period of time. So like if you have look at your house, if your electric bill comes on August 5th and it's for the month of July. So there's a period of time.
They should be fairly close, within a month.
Your actuals will not be in audited actuals, I should say, when we get the CAFR and AFR. And I feel compelled to say this, and I feel like I'm risking myself.
Here it is.
Here it is.
I appreciate you think that we're doing fine right now. We're 54 employees short. That's really not fine.
Good for you.
We had issues. I've been directed to investigate problems. That's not fine. I don't mind cutting the budget, but operating under the perception that everything is fine right now without having a willingness to make some improvements. And I'm not saying that willingness does not exist. But 54 employees short out of 480 is not fine.
There it is. There it is.
That 12% that's a 12% number if you round it up. The thing about it is, she's softly talking about it, but that is coming from somebody that softly talks. That is a huge red flag.
Let me see that paper right there.
Very big.
There's 2
Good
papers
for
there.
her. Good for her for speaking
That
up
one.
for them.
That's it right there.
Hey man, she's got a
All right, so
hellish job.
here we go. I'm going to run this down real quickly, and then Chris, you're right. I'll take a break. Okay, this is of just a couple of a month ago. These are the open positions we have, and I'm going to go through them fastly. So in the sheriff, of course, we got Deputy 1, Deputy 2, part-time deputy, tactical medic. Number of positions, 9 and 4 available. Communications, part-time dispatcher, 1. Oconee Law Enforcement Center, correctional officers 1 and 2, we need 5. Corporal, we need 1. Sergeant, we need 1. Master correctional officer, we need 1. Emergency services, field training officer, 1. Firefighter, 106, 24-hour, 1. Firefighter, 80, 49-hour, 5. We need a part-time firefighter, part-time trainer. Animal control officer, 1. Kennel tech, 1. Parks, Recreation, Tourism, Shaw Ram, Park Ranger, 1. Library, part-time floaters. We need a senior tax record specialist at delinquent tax. Well, you need that to get the money that you're trying to get. You need 1. Assistant to the attorney, and let's see, a program that we are supporting and funding is Life After Lockup. Custodian 1, we need a kennel tech 1, and an EO equipment operator 2, which is 1 position for the rock quarry, and that is 50-something slots. And now we've added to that list almost 50, so 54 total right now of jobs.
Do you guys read the New York Post?
I do occasionally, yes.
So
Not paste. That's Trump's paper.
I just want to let you know that here's an article from August the 9th of 2021. It says that OnlyFans stars make 270 times more than the average worker. 270 times 29,300.
Did you say only or a
And
conely?
that is what is
Only
wrong
thing.
with our world.
I'm just saying there's options out there, and they, you know what? And what would surprise you is if you look a little deeper. I got this chart here that you would think that this would probably be a female-driven industry, but there's actually more guys making money on OnlyFans than there are girls.
Well, isn't that something?
OnlyFans revenue was $2.5 billion last year.
Trees to the weeds, y'all.
I'm just telling you, there's a lot of jobs out
Beekeeper cheesecake.
there. I mean, you sell what you got to. Diamonds or diapers, it don't matter.
Okay, you ready?
Hello. It's Rainey Bond's assistant, Jazzy Jeff here, and Rainey's gonna slide down a pole tonight.
I don't know what
No.
they're doing on OnlyFans.
I've already got that down pat.
No. Randy needs more oil on his back.
We used to have those masseuse by the minute down at Fairplay, but they don't have those no more.
Well, I mean, there's a job opportunity.
What, a masseuse by the hour at Fairplay?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I mean, it could contribute to the
I
sewer.
got a buddy of mine who just broke up with his girlfriend. He said he was looking for something like that.
Okay. All right. That's enough. It's time. We got to take a break. There's no way two ways about it. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Climb back up in the trees, y'all.
All right. Well, we've got more coming up. I guarantee you this show is going to go past 8. So if you need to take a bathroom break right now would be the great opportune time. We're going to come right back with more of Let's Talk Oconee on this Sunday evening.
Nice song.
Hi, folks. I'm Jazzy Jeff. You know, you've heard me talk about the blood connection for many months now, and the blood connection is so important to so many people. They depend off the blood donations. That's why the blood connection has new and improved apps so that you can find out your test results, you can redeem rewards, and so much more. Visit thebloodconnection.org for more information. Again, the Blood Connection is your locally blood center, your community blood center, and they're located conveniently here in Oconee off Sanford Boulevard next to Oconee Memorial Hospital. Always remember, give the gift of life. It takes very little time to save someone's life. For more information about booking an appointment, check out their website now at thebloodconnection.org. That's thebloodconnection.org. Ready to donate blood? They need your donation to save local lives. Do it today. Go to their website, make an appointment at the Blood Connection. Proud to be a sponsor of Sunny 107.9 WFBS and Lake Kiwi Radio Online. It's Twice a Town Tap Room. Cold beer, a family atmosphere located in downtown Salem. They're glad to be investing in the town of Salem, and they strive to be a premier hangout in the community and county. Whether you live in town, out of town, on the lakes, including Kiwi, Jocassee, or Hartwell, on one of our beautiful rivers, or just passing through, you're always welcome at Twice a Town Tap Room. Don't forget, live music, great entertainment, and fun can be had at Twice a Town Tap Room located in downtown Salem. Again, for more information, visit twiceatowntaproom.com. That's twiceatowntaproom.com. There you'll find all of the information you need to know about Twice a Town Tap Room, and make sure you stop in and say hello. Twice a Town Tap Room is a proud sponsor of Sunny 107.9 WFBS and Lake Kiwi Radio Online.com. Their website, once again, twiceatowntaproom.com. Welcome back to Let's Talk Oconee. It is Sunday evening edition, 7:46, as we continue our discussion. What in the heck is going on to my left over here right now?
Well, you know what?
What?
Randy and I are going to give back to the community.
Hold on, I need to.
Before we get back to the community, though, I just want to let you guys know that Duke Power has 16 open jobs.
Good. So what we're going to do?
Everything's working just fine up there.
We have a friend. We have a friend
Uh-huh.
that has to drive every night, dark in the mountains, and they only have zip-tied Christmas lights. And we're going to take up a collection. And so what we're going to do on Lake is we're going to have a parade. It's a PP parade. It's called Ferry Parade. So I've been asked to lead it since I'm the one that wants to help him, but I didn't have any Christmas lights. So Randy and I are going to modify the boat this weekend. Here, Randy, hold up. This is going to be on front of my boat as I lead the parade.
Santa.
The problem is I can only go 15 feet out because that's all I have at extension cord. Some of these guys who got all kinds of money on the lake. There's my neighbor. He's got money. He's going to be able to go 50 feet with his extension cord. But I had to test this.
Wait, are you talking about the neighbor that's next to you that made his own creek?
Yes.
He's got a water feature outside.
Wait a minute, didn't?
It's just pretty much like the lights on the front of that truck.
Didn't work. I just had it working. I need to work on that.
Do you need your assistant technician to take a look at it?
Well, yeah, seriously. I just plugged it in. I think it popped it. I don't know what happened.
Just handy.
There you go.
This kind of
see if it
works.
lights up. Now.
This works.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, now wait a minute. I didn't have enough time. I need Harbor Freight zip ties.
Oh, hey, look what I got.
Whoa! Okay,
I carry these in my
There you
pocket just in case I find some of them lights on the side
There
of the
you
road.
go. Okay, so we're
These
going to
lights
put
probably
this.
do the same thing.
This is,
Yeah,
This
they
is-
probably do the same thing.
Sure.
There you go. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to end up, whatever we get in our proceeds, we're going to give it to Perry. So he
Here,
can
I'll tell
buy
you what.
some real headlights for his
I
truck.
tell you what, Chris, I'll start it off. Here you go.
Thank you. Look at that.
There you go.
$80. Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. You can trust me. So there you go.
I'm not sitting here the whole show
No,
holding
no,
this
I'm
thing.
just showing people. So
All right,
we
well,
will
hey,
be putting
we've
pictures of this.
We've started the fun.
There you go. There you go. Now
We started the
Perry's
fun.
going to get real headlights, and he won't be scared anymore when he drives up the mountain.
Well, at least we won't hit him.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Back to where we were heading. We've got more of the video we're going to continue with right now. Here on Let's Talk Oconee SC, as we continue to break down last week's county council meeting.
The employees that are here and those that are not here are working very hard to meet expectation. That includes me, that includes your council and everyone who's here, the boots on the ground. These are very difficult times.
So
I'm not opposed, Mr. Durham, to cutting the budget. I just wanted to say that there is a struggle here that may not be visible to you because we're so good at what we do.
So the motion is to set the budget as is, and then we will immediately.
Now, if you noticed, did everybody just notice when Amanda Brock stopped her comment? Did you notice how it went? It's as if he didn't even pay her any attention.
No,
he
he
moved
doesn't.
right on. He didn't give a damn. He didn't care what she had to say.
She's a very nice lady, but she's probably not going to be in there that much.
Well, she's
longer.
right though. She
is right.
She has worked very hard to have the best interest of the county at heart. We have never had an administrator in Oconee County government that actually cared more. When she was given a task to do something, she did it to the best of her ability. And she's actually a people person for us when it comes to county employees. They do have an ally in her. She works hard because she's been in that situation. She's been an employee. She knows stuff, and she's been one of the longest people that we've had in Oconee County government, and she knows.
Right, but you have the majority running council that are purely political now, and that's why he's so dismissive.
Yes.
That's why Glenn is. Mize,
No.
I don't even think they don't even acknowledge her.
Glenn just sits there, just look. That's all he does is just look.
Hell, he doesn't care.
I just want to give you guys this statistic. Oconee County, Georgia, the lowest paying worker there makes $61 an hour. The highest makes $79 an hour. And the average county employee for Oconee County, Georgia makes $69 an hour.
Well, why don't we post it on our page? You don't have to read it all.
That's below Athens, Georgia. Oconee County, Georgia.
That's far.
No, it's not that. It's not too far from here. I mean, it's far, but not. You can be there quicker.
Not
than you
You're
can
right.
in
You're right.
Carolina.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking if you had an extension cord with no headlights.
No
Okay,
headlights.
you're right.
Right.
You're right.
Gotcha.
Regular cars. All right.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah, to be fair, there are people doing 3 and 4 jobs in the county.
Can you do another? Sir, I'm going to give you another county to look at. Go to Orangeburg, South Carolina. When you do that, I'm going to go ahead and play some more of the clips. I just would like to hear what about Orangeburg, South Carolina. That's interesting.
Be evaluating under scrutiny, any increases. But, you bring up the understaff, and if you compare their budgeted employee number compared to the annual comprehensive financial report numbers for actual employees, being 30 to 50 employees short is not an uncommon thing. And that brings the question off.
Well, how many employees does Duke need, Randy?
16.
Oconee County needs 54. That sounds like a problem to me.
It's already frozen though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's frozen now. So, you're not going to get those.
You'll never get those employees.
Interesting. And I've kind of got the same information right here that I was just looking at. It's very interesting. All right, let's just continue.
I mean, that's 30 to 50 salaries that's budgeted for, and that money's not going to salaries. I don't know where it's going to, but that brings the question of, those positions need to be budgeted for.
There's your point. Matt's the HR director now.
Yep.
Something to be looked at as well.
Are you ready for that answer?
Yeah,
That's
just a
outside
second.
this motion though, right here. Any other comments on Mr. Davis's motion? All in favor? All opposed?
So you opposed a motion that all that was happening, they wanted just to have copies of these amendments, but you opposed that.
So they can't see them.
Bingo.
All right, that brings us back to the main motion of the county budget ordinance. All in favor?
Mr. Hart, we're not at a discussion yet, sir. We're still on second. You called for a vote for Mr. Hart, you realize passing a budget without knowing what's in it can jeopardize, especially your district in economic development down there. I mean, it'd be my advice to have an idea on what you're passing. You can do what you want to do, but if something's in there, because we're literally passing a blind budget. There's
Any thoughts on that, guys?
He's right. They haven't seen it. They won't let them see. Like I said, this. When you look at it, people just need to understand they got ambushed. I don't believe for a second this thing wasn't planned. I think I didn't plan all.
Oh, it was planned, and it was planned, guys.
Sure it was.
Well, if it wasn't planned, they're dumber than I thought they were.
Yeah.
But they had to have planned it. They had to work together. They had to have a quorum because a couple of them guys look like you got to tell them 2 or 3 damn times so they know what you're talking about.
Yep.
All right. Now I want to share something with you all. I'm pulling this directly off of Mr. Durham's Matthew-Durham.com in 2002 budget. During the budget process, I also repeatedly requested a public meeting for a line item review of the budget that was repeatedly declined by 3 council member majority. Line by line item.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there it is. It's in his own words. All right, Rainey, you got the answer for that.
So Orangeburg County is a real poor county too, apparently, because their average salary is starting at. Oh, it's what did it say? Average starting salary was $47,000 for county employees.
What's our average starting salary for employees?
Average, I don't know. We got some pretty low ones, and we got some pretty high ones. But here's the thing. Another thing I was looking up. I got distracted. I wanted to know because you all brought up Sewer South, and we all know there's going to be a whole lot of development down there. A lot of stuff's going to happen. And I thought I'd look up the salaries of experience, salaries based on experience for real estate, realtors and stuff. 1 to 2 years experience at $78,000 is what they estimate you're going to make. 6 to 9 years, you'll be making $100,000 a year, and at more than 10 years, that it's just whatever you want to make. But they're saying that 6 to 9 years is the sweet spot in realty. It's where you're in a groove before you start settling down. But $98,000 a year for those realtors over 10 years. I mean, 2 years into a job and you're making $80,000 a year, and all you got to do is take a test, pass a test.
But you got to sell. You got to sell. You got to work weekends. And you got
to have the confidence in yourself.
Well, that's fine.
And I mean, stop being beat down by these tyrants.
I want to read Bethany's comments that she has posted. This is a great comment. Choosing not to pay the citizens of this county who risk their lives to keep yours safe is a disgrace to this county. Sure, there are other jobs available, but someone has to fill these positions, and they deserve to be compensated enough to take care of their families.
Well, yeah, and they're assuming a great risk in their jobs.
Our good friend Ernest checks in, says Duke needs less employees because they're leaving soon. And another comment that Ernest says, it's at least a visually impaired budget. Oh my gosh.
But here's the thing. When I was taking firefighter classes, well, the first class of firefighter 1 is like the history of the fire department. And back in the old days, these firefighters, they didn't get paid by nobody. They went around and sold insurance to individuals about how, hey, if your house catches on fire, we'll come and run out here to you. Maybe that's what they need to do here is run, put a boot out the window and say, hey, if you want us to come and put your fires out, you're going to have to ante up and give us more money to the county.
I'm going to move on here with the video.
Seems to be one person up here that knows what they're doing.
What would you say?
It's up to you. That's all, Mr. Durham. I'll be quiet.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, third reading of the following ordinance 2023-03. That on my screen. That I believe is the ordinance for the Kiwi Special Fire District, previously read. It is on our screen in front of you. Do I have a motion?
Take a motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That is 5-0.
I have ordinance 2023-09. That's an ordinance amending section 32-222 of the Oconee County Code of Ordinances. It's read on my screen above. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
That is 5-0.
Ordinance 2023-10. That's a motion dissolving the Arts and Historical Commission. It's on the screen, previously read. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Well, there's your foreign traditions out the door.
Yep. I was going to say something about that too.
There goes your foreign traditions.
Willy-nilly.
Yep. From moonshine growing to marijuana cultivating, there goes it all. It's done and over with. No more moonshine and marijuana in the county.
Arts and history right out the window. None of that.
Well, just
Can't
a little
have
bit
any
more
culture.
Just a little bit more history of the fire department. There's the early days, there were privately owned companies and there was some competition for services. And some of the firefighters were actually recruited not for their strength in firefighting, but their ability to fight, to protect the company and its equipment. So insurance companies paid the fire companies that put out the fire so that the one that made it to the scene first got paid. So maybe that's what we're going to have to do around here. We'll just go back to privately owned fire departments.
Well,
and we'll get Julian to figure out an insurance policy that we can pay. And then we'll get the fire company.
We never had private private firefighters. We were based on a rural fire control, which was a commission that oversaw.
Because you in Podunk nowhere. I'm talking about New York City and places like that.
Well, do you intend Oconee to be the next New York City?
It will when that sewer south goes in.
I'm thinking it'll be bigger in Atlanta.
It'll be as big as Pigeon Forge.
They're gonna have you know what? They're gonna have a monorail to Walmart.
Oh, they're gonna have the MARTA, baby.
All right, there you go.
With all its drugs and all its violence, it's all coming to Oconee County. And
all those
and you know what? Hey, and you know what? They're gonna have to name that the Matt Durham Railway.
All those foreign traditions that we got to honor. Ooh, and the
yeah.
parades. Oh boy,
well, hey,
that OCC is going to go crazy with that.
So what month is it now? Is it
I don't know. We'll have to learn.
Spanish History Month or
no? This is Pride Month.
I sure as hell we don't have to learn the
June Pride Month.
June is Pride Month.
June is Pride Month, and it's a good thing.
What are y'all proud of?
Ha 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 ha! Cute.
No, but you know what? I saw something today that was posted, and it's like, why is Pride Month there? It's there because there's some kid out there that don't know that it's better to be gay than dead.
But yeah,
and you know what? That rang home with me.
Well, sure,
that's absolutely right.
I'm shocked that you said that, and I agree.
You know, yeah. There's a lot to be said about
that.
It
has nothing to do with politics. It's about saving your children's lives.
You better be careful. You're talking like a Democrat.
Oh, I'm not at all.
Well, I'll make this statement. We're all human beings. Whether I disagree or agree with it, that's not me to judge. I'm not the judge and jury. But here's the deal. I'm going to respect you. If you have a problem, I'm going to be your friend. I'm not going to shun you just because you believe a certain way. That's not me. I don't do that.
So what is that? What is that saying about being made in God's image?
Yeah, God doesn't.
But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because I felt.
Well, you brought it back to why I asked that question. But
I just wanted to say that instead of being nasty hearted, that there's probably somebody listening to our show that needs to know that hey, it's better to be alive and gay than it is to be dead because we need all the listeners we can get.
But that opens up the
all
door
five
also.
of you.
Well, we're up to 6 to 9.
Okay.
I would never want their kids that suffer and worry and think honestly that especially living in the South and growing up the way some of us do, think that might be an option, and
exactly.
It's not. It's okay. It's all right.
Speaking of the kids, have you seen how people are blowing up in the Journal about how much the superintendent's making?
Well, I wanted to get to that. I wanted to get to that. Let me see if we can finish this up because there's 2 more stories I'd like to get through, and we're right at 8:03 right now. And I know that Kathy was just dying to talk about one of the 2 when it involves the school district. We're going to talk about the comments about the superintendent getting that 5%. It just goes to show you that county employees, the school district board of education thinks Thorsland's much better than you are. I'll explain my comments in a few moments. Back to the video we go like right now.
Any discussion? All in favor? I have ordinance 2023-11. That is an ordinance amending the lease agreement between the Oconee County and the Foothills Farmstead, previously read. It's on the screen above. I have a motion.
Second.
Motion. Second. All in favor?
That is 5-0.
Okay, I have second reading of the following ordinance. Ordinance 2023-02, an ordinance to establish the budget for the school district of Oconee County and to provide for the levy of taxes for the operations of the school district of Oconee County.
Now, I want to add something. We voted for the school district budget. I'm wondering at the potential next county council meeting, will there be an issue on that budget? Kathy, what do you think? You think that they're going to cut that budget too?
I don't know. When they readily passed that. Do you remember? Because there was zero discussion about it. It was just immediate. Do you remember?
I do. It was very strange. And then to find out 5% more and got a glowing recommendation. And I'm having to sit here and think of this now. We had this superintendent dealt with a bus driver crisis. And what was it? Was it a rap song of some sort?
Yeah, it was. It was.
But yet a glowing recommendation.
And the 5%, to be fair, is what everybody in the state got that our county did. So it's not too far-fetched, but when you do the math, it's a 5% for him is, almost half a salary for like some of our county people. And it's at least a third of a salary for some of our teachers and probably about half a salary for some of the aides and probably cafeteria workers and stuff. So it's a big deal in comparison. So yeah,
you're telling me, I think y'all were telling me that he was getting brutal comments in the Journal on their post. Is that right?
Well, I saw something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look, but
yeah, I'm just kind of wondering though if that budget's going to be cut. I smell something. There's something just not right.
But the county council can't do anything to the school budget.
Yes, they can.
What can
they have to approve the budget.
They have to approve the budget. They can come by and make them cut the budget. And it's happened before. We used to have fights every time it was come budget season. County council, the school board would get into it hot and heavy. Kathy, you remember all those times?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yes. It used to get to be a heated debate around here because the school district at one time wanted to be autonomous. They wanted to set their own budget. Now, could you imagine that?
Well,
hey,
most
you know
of
what?
them do.
It's just public schools.
Right.
Nothing. I mean,
it's nothing important.
It's nothing important. I mean, Lord have mercy. Don't we get tax deductions for private schools around here? I mean, hell, does everybody go to private school?
Yeah, just wait. That Oconee Christian Academy is going to be slap ass full of people anyway.
Yeah,
and ain't going to be anybody at Kiwi Elementary. There
may not be. There may not be any more Kiwi Elementary.
But here's the thing: is the school district already sees that. They know that everybody in Salem and over there are going to send their kids to private school on a school voucher, so there's no reason to have a public school out there for the 3-4 kids.
Of course, that'll improve public schools with everybody leaving. And
let me say this:
I'm being facetious. Everybody knows it.
The folks up in Salem know how much I appreciate them, and I do a lot of work for the town of Salem with the radio station and stuff. They got screwed out of their high school.
They did. That was a beautiful little campus too.
It was what you consider a hometown school. And see, here's the other thing, that there had been a referendum about 5 years prior to Walhalla being built and to the closing of the school. The county voters in a referendum approved keeping that school open.
They did.
They approved it.
Everybody said leave it.
Leave it as is. Then all of a sudden it was a back door and all this, that, and the other. The property where Walhalla High School is now was purchased already in 1979 because they had been trying to do this for almost 20 years. They wanted to consolidate. The deal was, if you consolidate, we're going to save ourselves tons of money. We're going to save millions of dollars by shutting Tomasi Salem down and combining it with Walhalla. That was Dr. Thorsland's whole big deal. Well, also at the time, you had another elementary school that was just opened up, which was here in Seneca, Blue Ridge Elementary. They closed Code Elementary and J.N. Kellett. That's two schools they closed to create Blue Ridge. We were supposed to save millions and millions of dollars. Notice there's a pattern here. We're supposed to save millions and millions of dollars. I have you know that we're at least over $15 million with less teachers, less schools. We're spending more money now. And the reason all was to consolidate we were going to save money. Well, what happened? The folks up in Salem lost their school that they supported. And now winds of change are coming that you're talking about potentially closing Kiwi and merging Tomasi Salem. That's a huge geographic distance between the two schools.
Yeah, they're nowhere near each other.
They're nowhere near each other. But on top of that, you're talking about now closing Westminster Elementary and maybe Orchard Park and moving them into what is called West Oak Middle and building a new middle school. And then you've got Walhalla. The next 10 years is going to be ready.
Well, Orchard Park isn't really even that old.
No, it's not. I think it's about maybe 10 years old, if that.
Those are really tough decisions. I was consolidated, and I remember how I was feeling, how rough it was. Like, I can't believe this, and then boom, I look at it too. A lot of these things, I haven't looked at the numbers. I don't know. I just find it hard if you close several schools, how it's gonna be more expensive when you have everybody consolidated using these resources.
Well, you're more hired on the administration side of the school district. That's the other problem. We've hired more and more people.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know enough of the details. I just know that when you start looking at limited resources across a state like ours, it's already doing something with these vouchers and stuff. These public schools are getting clobbered. I mean, you look at these guys, they have somebody showing them like, listen, we can close this, we can do this, and we can save here. And all the pressure they got on that in the first place, I mean, it's hell, I wouldn't want that job.
But when we talk about the schools closing and opening and doing different things, none of us are experts, and the county pays somebody to be that expert. And they're looking at all this data that we can't see. And there's people that are mad about it that don't even know that data exists to drive that decision. I grew up in a very small, very poor county in Virginia. I had to ride a school bus for almost an hour to school every day to high school. I graduated, joined the Navy. Fast forward, they built a high school right beside my house out in the country in the middle of a cornfield. There used to be a cornfield, and then they started growing these daggone Christmas trees and wrecking the environment. But anyway, they built this high school right there. And you know what? People complained about them building a high school out in the country for the rural kids. So you guys are talking about they're taking it away from the rural kids and bringing them to the city, and people are complaining about it. Well, it happens if they build one for them too.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to complain.
But a lot of these kids meet the same ones that they're going to be. When this was going on with Walhalla, these parents were saying their kids are going to be bullied. I'm like, the same kids that hang around with in the Walmart parking lot.
They all go to Walmart.
That's not true, guys. Y'all, you don't know.
But
really honestly don't know.
But here's the thing. It's 2023. And if there's still that kind of bullying because they're country kids or city kids or whatever, people need to grow up and teach their kids to get along with
No,
one another.
it has not one damn thing to do about that.
Wait,
what it has to do with is you totally destroyed the community in a whole that sponsored and helped the school. You took their essence, you took their identity away from them. And we had this happen when Oakway and Westminster High School merged. Same thing. Kathy, you know what I'm talking about.
It changes the dynamic.
Yes.
Well, sure it does. What do you think all this stuff is changing? You're, like I said, but you're becoming more of an urban community.
People got to realize the only constant,
you better plan for
the only constant that Oconee County now is ever going to have is change.
Exactly.
It's going to change. It's going to change with every person that moves in here, every person that sells their property to somebody else.
Wasn't there a school called Eagle Creek or something that they made it?
It was it closed up.
Why?
COVID killed a lot of things.
Yeah, well,
but the thing about
but how was it getting funded?
The mindset of
it was a charter school.
Yeah, I know. I apologize. I don't know what that. Who pays for that?
There was some funding from I think it was like a home charter deal.
Anyway, but there's state funding for that too.
That's what I think it was. It was a state fund because they had partnership with out of Greenville. I believe I'll do some research and get you some information on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
it's a great
opinion
public
is, and I know I'm cutting in, but I'm gonna back off real quick. I think all that money, we ought to forget all this other crap. We ought to put our money in public schools, period. Go ahead.
Yeah, public schools are the future.
Go ahead. I
But
cut you off.
change is the only thing that's going to be the same around here. With that sewer south coming in, it won't be long till there's houses on every 5 acres in Mountain Rest. It's going to happen. They're going to put a dollar store in there. They're going to put a Waffle House right beside it. There's going to be this. It's going to be that. It's just going to 28 is going to have stuff all up it. 107 is going to have stuff all up it. People are leaving the urban places and they're coming out here. The only thing that's going to do is make this place urban.
Let me just say one thing. What you're saying is absolutely 100% correct. And when that happens, and we've got these issues with infrastructure, and it becomes a mess, and you're trying to ride an Amtrak train as you're trying to plan, they're going to realize for all the shit we were getting about saying this stuff about infrastructure, listening to these guys that don't know squat about it, you wait. This county's going to blow up, and it's going to be a mess.
We won't be riding Amtrak because they took up the train tracks.
There you go, Kathy. You're right.
Well, what I mean by that is like you're on a 60-mile-an-hour train trying to fix something when you could have fixed it earlier properly by planning, and it'll just going to be chaos.
But hey, speaking of new businesses coming to Mountain Rest, everybody go out to Facebook and check out Sourwood Village.
Oh, I can't wait. I liked it today.
Well,
you get senior discount.
You're done.
I'm done.
Wait, you didn't like change?
Wait a
There's
minute.
no sense in trying to argue the point.
Do we get senior
You
discount?
all will never understand how it destroys a community.
Oh, it does.
Not the change. Not the change. I'm not
disagreeing.
talking about the change. You don't understand the dynamics of the schools and how they keep the dynamics of the community together.
Yeah, but here's
but they went against the will of the people.
Well,
the will of the people was no, you leave it open. We had a referendum, we overstepped all of that. And we said, well, we don't really give a damn what the community has to say. The county, it was a county referendum, and it passed substantially.
It did.
We don't care about the community. This is where the OCC is correct. God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's true. The OCC is correct about the community aspect of it. When you take a school out of a community, you're in essence shutting down that community. I know. I see that in the Salem area now. Those kids, Salem and Walhalla is two different areas altogether. That would be like taking Seneca High School and combining it with Walhalla. Do you know what would happen there?
Kids would get an education.
No, they wouldn't. So I'm done. I'm done because you all will never understand this.
I am not saying that. I understand what you're saying. Remember, I told you they did that to me. But the problem is the growth and what's changing is driving that. You got new people, you got new players, and you can't have a community that's on the edge. It's like, we're not going to change. Not when you've got people moving in. Then you have to make big decisions that are not going to be popular with people that grew up that way. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is.
But then you take a look at the Fair Oak Community Center. That thing is thriving now. They've even got pickleball night.
Where?
At Fair Oak Community Center. Yeah. One of those schools that got closed.
But not naked pickleball.
Well, it's coming.
Okay. Well,
but here's the
Mama go look.
But here's the thing. These communities get those schools back and make them thriving centers, and they do something with them. Like this old Walhalla Middle School up here's got that elderly thing every day. These old folks that get to go up there and hang out, and they're doing something.
Good.
So I change is going to happen. People that have lived here all their life, they're not going to like it, but they didn't stop it from coming, and here it is.
And if you're going to change like that, you need to plan for it.
And whoever decided that sewer south was a good idea, they escalated this thing 1,000 times.
Well, yeah, but in that area, my opinion is you're just going to end up
when that area grows, these other areas are going to grow too.
I mean, you're going to
grow everywhere.
Yeah, but the growth is not going to be planned. It's going to be everywhere.
Nasty, terrible.
Okay. All right.
Final thoughts?
What a mess.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. What a mess. I just, yeah.
The only thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kat.
I think the county could have come up with the 5% for all the employees.
Yes.
And then they could have done the study. And I'm still ticked off they didn't read my letter. And I don't even know if they got my letter. So that's yeah.
It was a good letter too.
But anyway, next time I'll just go and breathe my germs all over them. So
good.
that's my thing. Yeah.
All right, Rainey.
So I was looking at the Chinese year calendar, and it looks like that 2023, 2024 is going to be the year of the budget amendment. So stand by. There's going to be plenty of them. We're probably going to end up spending $74 million in 2024, not 60 or 65.
Chris?
Okay. I got two things, and I'll make it quick. The first one is because some of these guys, are not my friends when we talk on things. They say, "Oh, you're arrogant." You think, no. What this council has done it's not the way things are done properly. They're not treating people with dignity and respect. They've got an entire workforce that is scared for their families. It's wrong. You can make hard decisions, hard financial decisions, but you have to make them fairly and you have to make them with respect. And the second and the last thing, and I'll say this because you're talking about change, I remember how freaked out my parents were, and I heard them talking when they were talking about bringing the metric system in to America. And all I could think of now, then I thought, I didn't know what the hell it was, but now I'm thinking, thank God, I don't want to learn that crap.
But hey, one last thought. Unlike Bob Barker, Don Mize does not want you to spay and neuter your pet.
That's not you what?
I said, unlike Bob Barker, Don Mize does not want you to spay and neuter your pets. It costs too much.
Hundreds of people showed up at the school board meeting to voice opposition to the closure of Tomasi-Salem High School, but the board said they were going ahead with the closure based on phone calls they received. Ghost swayed the board because no one was for that. And a county referendum, about 99 passed substantially to keep Salem open. But anyway, we didn't get to the part about talking about professionalism. And Don had made the reference about, we need to act professional on county council.
The pot calling the kettle back.
You see this right here? You see this?
Yes.
That's a thumb drive. In the coming shows, we're going to talk about professionalism because there is something on this video right here. This is a video on a thumb drive.
What is it?
We're going to talk about professionalism and how acting people do.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think the OCC president would be egging people on for political gain, do you?
You'll just have to sit and wait for the next few weeks because what I've got on this thumb drive right here is going to show people a lot of stuff, and I can't wait to show it.
Hey, I got a question before we get off the air, though.
Mm-hmm.
It says here at the bottom of our live link that people can send stars pinned to their comments. Now, what that is? What I was researching that we have gained enough audience. We've had enough followers to share and comment on our content that Facebook is now allowing us to be paid for what we're doing.
Really?
So we are at level 3 now as far for content and such. So that's a big deal for us.
Yeah, but you know
in
what?
Less than a year.
Right. But with those followers, what is really a big deal? Every one of them speaks English.
Well, I hope they don't. I hope we have some diversity.
No. Not like Bangladesh, where we got this one guy buying followers.
But anyway, we're at a level 3 account with Facebook now. So that is really good. And I wanted to say thanks to all our listeners for getting us there.
Are you available to do the show Thursday?
Well,
we're not going to be able to have a show Sunday.
This week?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because
right?
It's Father's Day, but I also have to start prepping for going in the hospital.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I wished all my baby mamas a happy Mother's Day. I just hope they return the favor.
Yeah. You know
All
what?
right.
If Randy can't, we'll carry on. Don't
Okay.
worry.
Yep. You sure can. No problem. I'll perfect. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Let's Talk Oconee. Thursday night, 7 p.m. Join us for more stimulating conversation. And believe me, it is completely stimulating. See y'all Thursday.
BlueChew.com.